Hi, my name is Joel. I'm from the United States, but I've been an English teacher in Brazil for the past 8 years. I've taught everything from A2 to C2 level English courses. A lot of my work has been focused on preparatory courses for different English exams like Cambridge exams or the IELTS. And I'm here today because I've noticed that there are many people out there who have many misconceptions about what IELTS is, what you need to do. So I'm here to dispel some of those common things I've heard. Myth one, you need a British accent to get a good score. Now, everyone has an accent. I have an accent in English, it's a Midwest accent. Accents are normal. So you don't need a British accent in order to get a good grade. All accents are accepted, whether you have a Brazilian accent, an American accent, an Indian accent, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you speak clearly and naturally. Don't try to fake an accent. You don't need to sound like King Charles in order to get a good grade. Don't worry. Myth two, you need to use British spelling or you'll lose points. You may have noticed that the United States and the UK spell words differently. For example, the word collar. The British spell it with a U, Americans spell it without the U. Now, you don't have to use the British spelling method in order to get a good grade. American is fine. What matters is that you have consistency. So, for example, if you write organize with a Z at the beginning of your text, later on, don't write it with an S or don't write collar with a U. Choose either the American or the British way, but be consistent. Myth three, grammar is everything. Now, it's important to remember that grammar is important, but it's only one of four criteria that you are judged on. If your grammar is perfect, that doesn't mean you will get a band 9. You also need to work on your fluency, your pronunciation, your vocabulary, your coherence, and many other things. Don't focus solely on the grammar. Myth four, if I don't know a topic, I'll fail. Now, remember, this is not a content knowledge test. This is an English test. Now, you do need to practice speaking about a wide range of general topics like traveling and education. But that doesn't mean you need to know medical language or anything like that. Myth five, I need to speak fast to sound fluent. Speaking quickly does not equal fluency. What I've often seen is that people will try to speak quickly and then fall over their own words and make more mistakes. Instead, what matters is that you focus on speaking smoothly and naturally. Don't rush, it's not a race. Now, six, if I say I don't know in the speaking test, I'll fail. It's okay to admit if you're unsure you don't know anything. What matters is that you keep speaking. You can say something like, I've never thought about that, but maybe, and continue on. Don't stay silent or give up. Myth seven, I only need to practice reading and listening because they're easier. Now, you can guess easier on the reading and listening because you have different options true, false, not given, A, B, C, or D, what have you. Now, the reading and listening still demands strategy and speed. You need to practice skimming and scanning and note taking and all these other things. Don't ignore everything else. Myth 8, IELTS vocabulary means learning hard words. Now, you don't need to know rare words like habilification. It's not going to do you much good. You need topic specific and academic vocabulary. Learn words related to health, environment, technology, education, things like these. Don't memorize obscure words. For example, this is a complete waste of time. If you were to go there and say, I am presently the caretaker of a feline companion named Aurora, a 2-year-old creature of the domestic species Felis catus. Her pelage is a vibrant tangerine hue, a chromatic trait, often perhaps unfairly associated with exuberant and eccentric behavior. Aurora possesses a proclivity for positioning herself in close proximity to my person during the virtual dissemination of academic instruction, wherein I engage in the facilitation of online classes. Her predilections also include the indulgence of somnolence within confined cardboard enclosures and the enthusiastic consumption of consumables. Furthermore, she exhibits a spirited enthusiasm for the pursuit of diminutive reptilian creatures, specifically geckos, engaging in these endeavors with animated vigor. You just wasted a lot of time learning words you don't need. Go for more natural words. Myth 9, the examiner will give me a lower score if I make a mistake. One mistake does not equal a big penalty. I always make the comparison to the Titanic. When the Titanic hit the iceberg, it didn't rip a giant gash of 300 feet into the side of it. No, it poked a bunch of tiny little holes into it, and all these tiny holes added up to sinking. One mistake is natural. I make mistakes and I have a pretty good command of the English language. Instead, self correct and keep speaking fluently. That's all you have to focus on. Don't panic if you make a mistake. Myth 10, writing task 1 is less important than task 2. Now, it's true that task 1 is 33% of your writing score, but that's 33% of what I think tends to be the hardest part of the test. You need to make sure that you practice both. Don't neglect task 1. Make sure that you're ready to do it, especially if it's the academic. Myth 11, the more I write, the higher my score. Not true. What they're looking for is quality, not quantity. Stay within the word count because otherwise you're wasting your time. If you're going to write 400 words, you're wasting your time. That's time you could go back, edit, make sure that what you've written is correct. Myth 12, you can pass the IELTS with last minute training. Now, the IELTS is a pretty expensive task. Let's not kid ourselves. So, studying for a few days, you're probably just wasting your money. It requires skill and time to develop. Prepare over several weeks or even months. Find out what the structure of the test is, what is expected of you. Don't rely just on quick exam tips. Myth 13, you can lie. That's right, you don't have to tell the truth. IELTS looks at your ability to express yourself in English. It's not a lie detector. I remember in one of my very first IELTS classes I taught, one of the questions was, what's your favorite museum? And out of 9 students, 7 or 8 said, I don't like museums or I've never been to a museum. Okay, now you have. So I told them, well, now your favorite museum is now the Museum of Cachaça. Turns out that's a real thing. I didn't know that at the time. Think of something. Truth is important, just not so important inside the test. Now, don't be too outlandish. If they ask you what your job is, don't say you're Superman. So if you have any questions, you can contact me at inglesfortaleza@gmail.com. I hope this helps you as you prepare yourself.